The alarm screamed through the medical station like a dying animal. Dr. Zenthka dropped his datapad and ran toward the emergency bay. His forearms moved quickly as he prepared for whatever was coming. In his 20 years as chief medical officer on Sanctuary Station, he had seen everything. Burned Krellin miners, poisoned Vexian diplomats, even a Vorthan, who had somehow managed to eat his own tail. But the message coming through the communication system made his blue skin turn pale. Human vessel in distress. Single survivor. Critical condition, requesting immediate medical assistance. Humans. Zenthka had read about them in the medical files. New species. Recently joined the galactic community. Their biology was strange, even by galactic standards. But he had never treated one before. Few doctors had. Humans were still rare in this part of space. The emergency doors opened with a loud hiss. 2 Krellin medics rushed in, carrying a stretcher between them. On it lay what Zenthka assumed was the human. It was hard to tell. The body was covered in burns, blood, and radiation burns that glowed with a sick green light. The smell hit him immediately. Burned flesh mixed with something else. Something that made his stomach turn. What happened? Zenthka asked as they moved the human to the main medical table. Their ship hit a solar flare, one of the Krellins said. A direct hit. The radiation levels were off our sensors. We barely got close enough to get her out. So the human was female. Zenthka began his examination while his team prepared. The medical equipment. The scanner beeped and clicked as it ran over the human's body. The readings made no sense. Check the scanner, he told his assistant, Dr. Vex. Something is wrong with it. Vex ran the scanner again. The same readings appeared. On the screen, Zenthka stared at the numbers. According to his equipment, this human should have been dead hours ago, maybe days ago. Internal bleeding in 7 major organs, he said aloud, reading from the screen. Radiation poisoning at level 9. It's past fatal for any known species. Severe burns covering 60% of her body. Multiple bone fractures, and her brain. ... Double quotes. Her brain should not be working. Dr. Vex looked at the readings. His green eyes went wide. Sir, these numbers, they cannot be right. Run a full medical scan. Use the deep scanner. Maybe we are missing something. The deep scanner hummed to life. It was the most advanced medical equipment on the station. It could see inside a cell and count the damage. The new readings were worse than the first ones, Sir Vex said quietly. According to this, she's been exposed to enough radiation to kill a Vexian battle elephant. Her cellular structure should have broken down completely. But look at this. Zenthka looked at the cellular scan. What he saw made no sense. The human's cells were damaged, yes. But they were also doing something he had never seen before. They were fighting back. Some cells were dying, but others were working to repair the damage. It was like watching a war inside her body. Her immune system is still active, he said in disbelief. How is that possible? I do not know, sir. Should we contact the medical council? Zenthka nodded. Within minutes, he was connected to Dr. Ed. Thane, on the medical world of Helix Prime, Thane was the leading expert on alien biology. If anyone would know what to do, it would be him. Zenthka, Thane's voice came through the communicator. I heard you have a human patient. Yes, sir? But the readings make no sense. She should be dead. Send me the scans. Nth-Ka uploaded the medical data. He could hear Thane making surprised sounds as he reviewed the information. This cannot be right, Thane said finally. Are you sure your equipment is working? We've checked it 3 times, sir. Then this human is already dead. Her body just does not know it yet. I've seen this before with some species. The nervous system keeps working for a short time. After death. Give her a few hours, maybe less. Zenthka looked at the human on the table. Her chest was moving up and down. Slowly, but steady. Her heart was beating. The monitor showed brain activity. She did not look dead to him. What should we do, sir? Make her comfortable. There is nothing else you can do. No species can survive that level of damage. I will send you the standard death preparation protocols for humans. At least we can send her body back to her people with dignity. The communication ended. Zenthka stood next to the medical table looking down at the human female. She looked young, maybe. In her 30s, by human standards. Her name tag read Commander S. Chen. Her hair was black where it was not burned away. Her skin was pale under the burns and radiation damage. Dr. Vex, he said, prepare the comfort medications and look up human death customs. We need to know how to handle her body when the time comes. Yes, sir. But as Zenthka watched, something bothered him. The human's breathing was getting stronger, not weaker. Her heart rate was steady. The brain activity monitor showed patterns that looked almost normal. He had seen many beings die. This did not look like dying. This looked like fighting. He shook his head. Dr. Thane was right. No species could survive what this human had been. Through it was medically impossible. He was just seeing what he wanted to see. But deep down, something told him he might be wrong. For hours had passed since Commander Chen arrived at the station. According to every medical expert in the galaxy, she should have been dead 3 hours ago. But her heart kept beating. Her lungs kept breathing. Her brain kept showing activity. That made no sense. Dr. Zenthka sat in his office, staring at the medical readings on his screen. He had called every medical expert he could think of. All of them said the same thing. The human was dead. Her body was just too stupid to know. But the numbers kept changing. Not getting worse. Getting better, sir. Dr. Vex knocked on his office door. You need to see this. Zenthka followed Vex back to the medical bay. Commander Chen was still on the table, still connected to all the machines. But something was different. The burns on her arms looked smaller. The green glow from the radiation poisoning was fading. Look at her cellular regeneration rate, Vex said, pointing to a screen full of numbers. Zenthka looked at the readings. His mouth fell open. This says her cells are rebuilding themselves? At 7 times the normal rate? That's what I thought too. So I ran the test again. Same result. Her damaged tissue is healing faster than our equipment can measure properly. That's impossible. No species can regenerate that quickly, sir. Look at this too, Vex brought up. Another screen? Her white blood cell count has increased by 300% in the last hour. Her immune system is not just fighting the radiation, it's winning. Zenthka stared at the numbers. In his 20 years of medicine, he had never seen anything like this. He activated his communicator and called Dr. Thane again. Thane here, sir. It's Zenthka. The human is still alive. Give her time. Sometimes the dying process takes longer than expected. Sir, she's not dying. She's getting better. There was a long pause on the other end. That's not possible. Send me the new readings. Zenthka uploaded the latest scans. He could hear Thane making confused sounds as he looked at the data. Equipment is broken, Thane said finally. These readings are impossible. No organism can heal this quickly. We've checked the equipment 4 times, sir. We even used backup scanners. All show the same thing. Then you're making a mistake somewhere. I'm going to connect you to Dr. Kresh on Volton 7. She's the best trauma specialist in this sector. Maybe she can explain what you're seeing wrong. Dr. Kresh's voice came through the communicator 10 minutes later. She sounded tired and annoyed. Hey, don't have time for broken equipment readings, she said. What's the problem? Zenthka explained the situation and sent her the medical data. He waited while she reviewed the scans. This human is dead, Gresh said bluntly. Has been dead for hours. Your machines are malfunctioning. Turn off life support and prepare the body for transport. But sir, she's breathing on her own. Her heart is beating without assistance. Impossible. Look, I've treated radiation poisoning for 30 years. I know death when I see it. This human received enough radiation to kill a Gorlan war beast. Her organs should have liquefied by now. Zenthka looked at Commander Chen. Her chest was rising and falling steadily. The monitor showed her heart beating strong and regular. Her brain activity looked almost normal. What if human biology is different? He asked. Dr. Kresh laughed. Different? How different can it be? Carbon-based life forms all work the same way. Cells die when exposed to radiation. Organs fail when damaged. There are universal laws of biology. What if humans evolve differently? What if their cells can handle more damage? Listen to yourself. Talking like humans are some kind of super species. They're just another primitive race that barely discovered space travel. Their medicine is hundreds of years behind ours. If we can't save her, she can't save herself. The communication ended. Zentka stood next to Chun's bed, feeling frustrated. Every expert told him the same thing. The human was dead. But she was right there, breathing, her heart beating, her brain active. Dr. Vex appeared next to him with a new datapad. Sir, I ran a comparison scan. I compared her current readings. When she first arrived. What did you find? Our radiation levels have dropped by 40%. The internal bleeding in her liver has stopped completely. 2 of her broken ribs are already showing new bone growth. Zentka took the datapad and looked at the numbers. It was true. Every reading showed improvement, not the slow, careful improvement he was used to seeing. Fast, aggressive healing that seemed to get stronger every hour. Have you ever seen anything like this? Vex asked. Never. Not in any species I know. Zentka made a decision. I want you to contact the Galactic Medical Database. Search for any information about human biology? Everything you can find? Yes, sir. While Vex worked, Zentka ran another full scan on Commander Chen. The new results were even more surprising. Her blood pressure was normalizing. Her brain activity was stronger than before. The burns on her skin were healing so fast, he could almost watch them shrink. Sir, Vex called from his computer terminal. I found something strange in the database.
What?
Is it? There's a note in the human biology file. It says that human medical records are incomplete. Apparently humans are very secretive about their biological capabilities. They don't share detailed medical information with other species. Why would they hide medical information? The note says they call it tactical advantage. Whatever that means. Zentka thought about this. Why would any species hide their medical information? Unless they had something to hide, something that other species might find useful or dangerous. He looked back at Commander Chen. Her eyes were still closed, but her face looked peaceful. Not like someone dying, like someone sleeping. Dr. Vex, he said quietly, I want you to monitor her constantly, to take readings every 10 minutes. I want to know exactly what her body's doing. Do you think she might actually survive? Zentka looked at the medical readings one more time. According to everything he knew about medicine, she should be dead. But according to his equipment, she was getting stronger. I don't know, he said, but I'm starting to think we don't know as much about humans as we thought we did. Dr. Zentka was about to disconnect the life support systems when Commander Chen's eyes opened. He froze, his hand halfway to the power switch. Her eyes were brown like dark earth, and they were looking right at him, not the empty stare of someone dying. Alert eyes. Aware eyes. Water, she said in a voice that was rough but clear. Dr. Vex dropped his medical scanner. It hit the floor with a loud crash. The other medical staff stopped what they were doing and stared. According to their calculations, Commander Chen should have died 6 hours ago. According to Dr. Thane and Dr. Krish, she was already dead. But dead people don't ask for water. You're awake, Zentka said stupidly. It was the only thing he could think to say. Yeah. Chen tried to sit up, then winced and lay back down. Feels like I got hit by a transport ship. What happened to my crew? Zentka exchanged looks with Dr. Vex. They hadn't expected her to be conscious, let alone asking questions. I'm sorry, he said gently. You were the only survivor. Your ship was hit by a solar flare. Chen was quiet for a moment. Her jaw tightened, but she didn't cry. Zentka had seen many species deal with grief. Humans, it seemed, dealt with it by getting angry. Long was I out, she asked. 8 hours, Vex answered. You've been in critical condition, we thought. We expected ... You expected me to die. Chen's voice was flat. Yeah, solar flares are nasty. I've been through worse, though. Worse. Zentka couldn't believe what he was hearing. Commander, you were exposed to enough radiation to kill most known life forms. Your organs were failing. You had massive internal bleeding. Chen looked at him with those alert brown eyes, were past tense. Oh yes, your body seems to be healing itself. But we don't understand how. Humans are tough to kill, she tried. To sit up again, more carefully this time. Could I get that water? And maybe some food? I'm starving. Dr. Vex hurried to get water while Zenthka ran a quick medical scan. What he saw on the screen made his head spin. Chen's radiation levels were now only slightly above normal. The internal bleeding had stopped completely. Her broken bones were mending faster than any species he knew. This is impossible, he muttered. What's impossible? Chen asked, taking the water cup from Vex with steady hands. Your recovery. No species can heal this quickly. You should be dead. Chen drank the water slowly, then looked at him with what might have been amusement. Doc, where I come from, we have a saying. Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated, but the radiation levels ... were pretty bad, yeah. I could feel it cooking me from the inside. It's not fun. She finished the water and handed the cup back. But human bodies are designed to take damage and keep going. We're stubborn that way. Dr. Zenthka stared at her. Designed to take damage. What kind of evolution would create a species that could survive lethal radiation poisoning? Commander, he said carefully, could you tell me about human biology? We don't have complete information in our medical database. What do you want to know? How are you still alive? Chen actually smiled at this. It was a tired smile, but real. Doc, humans didn't evolve on a nice, safe world like most species. Earth tried to kill us every day for millions of years. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, meteor impacts, predators, diseases. The only humans who survived were the ones who were too stubborn to die. But your cellular regeneration rate is normal. For a human under stress, when we're hurt bad, our bodies kick into emergency mode. We heal faster, fight harder, and refuse to quit. It's called survival instinct. Zenthka looked at his medical readings again. Normal for a human? Commander, your immune system is working at 3 times normal capacity? Sounds about right. My body knows it's been poisoned, so it's working overtime to clean itself out. Your broken ribs are already showing new bone growth. Bones heal. That's what they do. In most species, bone healing takes weeks or months. Now Chen shrugged. Most species probably didn't evolve being chased by saber-toothed tigers. If a human broke a bone and couldn't run the next day, they became dinner. Evolution figured that out. Pretty quick. Dr. Vex was taking notes as fast as he could, right? What about pain tolerance, he asked. What about it? You have extensive burn damage. You should be screaming in agony. Chen looked down at her arms. The burns were still visible, but they looked days old instead of hours old. Yeah, it hurts. But humans learn early to work through pain. You can hurt and still function. Pain just means you're alive. This is incredible, Zenthka said. We need to document this. The medical community needs to know. Know what? That humans are hard to kill? I thought that was obvious. It's not obvious to us. Every medical expert we contacted said you were already dead. Chen's expression darkened. Let me guess. Hey. Told you to turn off life support and prepare my body for shipping. Yes, exactly. Typical. Other species always underestimate humans. They think because we're new to space travel, we must be weak. They don't understand that being new doesn't mean being fragile. Dr. Zenthka was quiet for a moment, processing what he had learned. Then he had a terrible thought. Commander, how many times has this happened? How many humans have been declared dead by alien doctors? Chun's face went very still. I don't have exact numbers, but probably more than you'd want to know. We've been letting humans die because we thought they were already dead. Some of them, yeah. Your medical protocols are designed for species that evolved in safe environments. Humans evolved in a place that was trying to kill them every second of every day. You're fatal as our Tuesday afternoon. The medical bay was silent, except for the quiet beeping of monitors. Zenthka felt sick to his stomach. How many humans had died on alien medical stations because doctors didn't understand their biology? Do we need to know? He asked quietly. Chen looked at him seriously. First rule of human medicine, Doc. We're not dead until we're room temperature and completely still. And even then, check twice. What's the second rule? Chen's smile came back. But it was harder this time. Never underestimate a human's ability to survive out of pure spite. Dr. Zenthka made a decision. He was going to learn everything he could about human biology. And he was going to make sure every doctor in the galaxy learned it too, starting right now. 3 days later, Commander Chen was sitting up in bed, eating what Dr. Zenthka considered way too much food for someone who had been dying a week ago. She had requested protein bars, water, and something called coffee. The medical station didn't have coffee, so she settled for a stimulant drink that would have given most species heart problems. "Tell me about adrenaline again," Dr. Vex said, taking notes on his data pad. He had filled 6 data pads with information about human biology in the past 3 days. Chen swallowed a bite of protein bar. "It's a chemical our bodies make when we're in danger. It makes us stronger, faster, and able to ignore pain." "How much stronger?" Zenthka asked. "Depends on the situation. I've heard stories of human mothers lifting ground cars off their children. Soldiers fighting for hours with wounds that should have stopped them in minutes." Dr. Vex looked up from his notes. "Lifting ground cars? That's impossible. For most species, yeah. But when a human parent thinks their child is in danger, impossible becomes possible." Chen finished a protein bar and reached for another one. "The adrenaline blocks pain signals and gives our muscles extra power. Temporary, but enough to do what needs to be done." "And this happens automatically?" Zenthka asked. "Yep. Our bodies decide we're in trouble and flip the switch. Heart rate increases, breathing gets faster, muscles get more blood flow. Call it fight or flight response. Fight or flight. Either fight whatever's threatening us or run away from it. Either way, we need extra power to survive." Dr. Zenthka made notes. This explained some of the readings they had seen. Jen's heart rate and breathing had been elevated even while unconscious. Her body had been preparing to fight the radiation poisoning. "What about your healing abilities?" he asked. "What about them? They're far beyond what we considered normal." Chen shrugged. "Humans heal fast because we get hurt a lot. On Earth, if you couldn't heal quickly, you died young. Simple evolution. But your cellular regeneration is what happens when a human body thinks it's in a life or death situation, which, to be fair, I was." She opened her 3rd protein bar. "When we're badly hurt, our bodies shift all available energy to healing. We might sleep more, eat more, but we heal faster." Dr. Vex looked confused. "Most species conserve energy when injured. Most species evolved somewhere safe. Humans evolved being hunted by things with big teeth and sharp claws. If we conserved energy when hurt, we became lunch." "Us about pain tolerance," Zenthka said. Chen thought for a moment. "Humans learn to work through pain early. Pain is just information. It tells us something is wrong, but it doesn't stop us from functioning. The burns you suffered would have left most species unconscious from pain alone. Yeah, they hurt. Still. Hurt, actually." She looked at her arms, where the burns were now just faint marks on her skin. "But pain doesn't control us. We control pain." "How?" "Practice, mostly. Human children learn to ignore minor pain. Human adults learn to work through major pain. It's cultural as much as biological." Dr. Zenthka was fascinated. "What do you mean?" "Cultural? We have sayings about it. Walk it off. Rub some dirt on it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We teach our children that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. That seems... harsh." Chen laughed. "Doc, you know what's harsh? It's getting eaten by a predator because you couldn't run on a sprained ankle. Humans figured out early that a little pain now is better than a lot of death later. You make it sound like Earth was trying to kill you. It was ice ages, volcanic eruptions, meteor impacts, floods, droughts, earthquakes, hurricanes, predators, diseases. Earth threw everything it had at humans for millions of years. By being too stubborn to die, and by adapting." Chen stood up from the bed. "Want me to show you something?" Before they could answer, she dropped to the floor and started doing push-ups. Her arms, which had been covered in severe burns just days ago, supported her weight easily. She did 20 push-ups without breathing hard. Dr. Vex nearly dropped his data pad. "You should not be able to do that. You were dying 3 days ago." "What?" "Days is a long time for a human to recover." Chen stood up and brushed off her hands. "Besides, I wasn't dying. I was just really hurt. There's a difference. Huge difference. Hurt means damaged but functional. Dying means systems shutting down. Permanently. I was never dying. My body was just working hard to fix the damage. Zentka stared at her. You were exposed to lethal levels of radiation. Lethal for most species, dangerous for humans. There's a difference. What do you mean, Chen? Sat back down on the bed. Humans have been exposed to radiation throughout our evolution. Solar radiation, cosmic radiation, radioactive materials in the ground. Our cells have repair mechanisms that most species don't need. Repair mechanisms? DNA repair, cellular regeneration, immune system responses specifically designed to handle radiation damage. It's not perfectly, but enough to survive what would kill. Other species? Dr. Vex was writing frantically. What else should we know? Humans have redundant systems. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, backup blood vessels, multiple ways for our brains to reroute around damage. We can lose significant parts of our bodies and still function. Redundant systems. If one thing fails, another thing takes over the job. Makes us harder to kill. This is incredible, Zentka said. Why don't humans share this information? Chen's expression became serious. Because other species tend to react badly when they find out humans are harder to kill than they thought. Some get scared. Some get jealous. Some try to figure out how to kill us anyway. So you hide your capabilities? We downplay them. Let other species think we're just another weak, new species. It's safer that way. But humans are dying because of our ignorance. Some, yeah. It's a balance. Share too little information. Some humans die from medical mistakes. Share too much? Some humans die from fear and jealousy. Dr. Zentka felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. What if we could change that? What if we could educate doctors without creating fear? Chen studied his face carefully. You really want to help? Yes. No human should die because we don't understand their biology. Chen nodded slowly. Doc, I'll teach you everything I know about human physiology. But you have to promise me. Something what? Use the information to save lives, not to hurt humans. I promise. Chen smiled. Then let's start with lesson 2. Human endurance capabilities. Did you know humans are the best distance runners in the galaxy? Settled in to learn. He had a feeling this was going to take a while. 6 months later, Dr. Zentka stood in front of the largest medical conference in galactic history. Representatives from every major medical station, hospital, and research facility in known space filled the auditorium. The topic of his presentation had drawn more attention than any medical discovery in decades. Human biology, redefining emergency medicine standards. Behind him, a large screen showed before and after images of Commander Chen. The first image showed her dying body covered in radiation burns. The second showed her 3 days later, sitting up and eating protein bars. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all classifications, Zentka began. What you are about to learn will change everything you think you know about emergency medicine. In the front row, Commander Chen sat with several other humans. She had volunteered to help with the presentation, along with a team of human doctors who had finally agreed to share their medical knowledge with the galaxy. 6 months ago, I was prepared to let this human die, Zentka continued, pointing to Chen. According to every medical protocol we had, she was already dead. Radiation poisoning beyond survivable levels, multiple organ failure, massive trauma. But Commander Chen had other plans. A ripple of laughter went through the audience. Many had already heard rumors about the impossible human recovery. Today, I want to share what we learned, and more importantly, I want to make sure no human dies again because we don't understand their biology. Dr. Thane from Helix Prime raised his hand. Dr. Zentka, are you seriously suggesting we rewrite medical protocols for one species? I'm suggesting we expand our understanding of what life can survive. Humans aren't just another species. They're proof that our definitions of fatal and impossible need updating. Zentka clicked to his next slide. It showed human cellular regeneration rates compared to other species. The difference was dramatic. Human healing rates can increase by up to 10 times normal speed under stress conditions. Their immune systems can operate at 3 times baseline capacity. Their pain tolerance allows them to function with injuries that would incapacitate most species. That's impossible, called out Dr. Kresh from the back of the room. Commander Chen stood up. With respect, Dr. Kresh, you told Dr. Zenthka I was dead 6 months ago. How did that work out? The audience laughed again. Dr. Kresh looked embarrassed. Point Chen continued is that humans evolved differently. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day. Our biology reflects that reality. Zenthka clicked to a new slide showing human evolutionary history. Earth experienced multiple mass extinction events during human evolution. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, meteor impacts. Only the most adaptable humans survived. Dr. Vex, now an expert on human physiology, took the stage. We've documented several unique human biological systems: redundant organs, advanced DNA repair mechanisms, stress response chemicals that enhance physical capabilities. What about other species? Asked a doctor from the Outer Rim territories. Any other species have similar capabilities?
Some.
But not to this extent, Vex replied. Humans appear to be unique in combining all these survival traits into one species. A young Krellin doctor raised her hand. How do we apply this to medical practice? Zenthka smiled. This was the question he'd been waiting for. We've developed new protocols specifically for human patients. First rule: never assume a human is dead until they've been clinically dead for at least 4 hours. 4 hours? Dr. Thane looked shocked. Human brains can survive longer without oxygen than most species. Their bodies can restart basic functions. Even after apparent death, we've documented 3 cases of humans recovering after being declared dead. Chen stepped forward again. We've also prepared training materials: human anatomy, physiology, stress responses, pain management, healing, rates. Everything you need to treat human patients effectively. Why share this now? Asked Dr. Kresh. Humans have been in space for years, because we're tired of dying from misunderstanding, Chen said bluntly. And because doctors like Dr. Zenthka proved we can trust you with this information. Zenthka felt proud hearing that. It had taken months to convince human medical authorities to share their knowledge. Chen had been his strongest advocate. The new protocols are already being implemented at major medical stations, Zenthka announced. We're also establishing human medical specialist positions at every major facility. What about training? Asked a doctor from the core worlds. Starting next month, every medical school in the galaxy will be required to include human biology courses. We're also offering intensive training programs for practicing doctors.
Dr. Vex added.
We recommend all emergency medical teams include at least 1 human biology specialist within the next 2 years. The questions continued for over an hour. Doctors wanted to know about human pain medications, surgical procedures, recovery expectations. The human medical team answered everything thoroughly. As the conference ended, Dr. Thane approached Zenthka. I owe you an apology, and I owe Commander Chen her life. We all do, Zenthka replied. That's why we're changing things. How many humans do you think we lost to ignorance? Zenthka looked at Chen, who was surrounded by doctors asking questions. Too many. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. 3 months later, the first human died under the new medical protocols. But this time, it was after 48 hours of intensive care, 3 surgical procedures, and every possible treatment. The human medical specialists confirmed that even human biology had limits. The difference was that everyone knew they had tried everything. They understood what they were treating. They respected the patient's biological capabilities instead of underestimating them. Word spread through human space that alien doctors finally understood human medicine.
How more humans
began seeking medical care at alien facilities. Cooperation between human and alien medical staff improved dramatically. Dr. Zenthka published his research paper, Human Biological Resilience, Expanding the Boundaries of Emergency Medicine. It became required reading at every medical school in the galaxy, but his favorite recognition came from an unexpected source. The Human Medical Council awarded him their highest honor, the designation of Honorary Human Doctor.
Ow.
For understanding that humans aren't just hard to kill, the award certificate read, but worth keeping alive. Commander Chen, now fully recovered and back to active duty, attended the ceremony. After the formal presentation, she approached Zenthka. "Thank you," she said simply. "For what?" "For not giving up on me, for learning, for teaching others." Zenthka looked at her, remembering that first day when he'd been ready to turn off her life support. "Thank you for being too stubborn to die," Chen grinned. "Doc, that's what humans do best." As she walked away, Zenthka realized she was right. Humans excelled at surviving the impossible. Now, finally, the galaxy's doctors knew how to help them do it.